best record in the conference. They can't win without him. Very, much better record with him than without him, in spite of the fact that Simmons is also playing very well. No, it's Joel Embiid, and here's something that blew my mind. Guys, do you know who has the highest scoring average per 36 minutes in the history of the NBA for their careers? For their careers, because Jordan's number one, KD is number 3, Kobe's on that list in the top 10. Number 1 per 36 minutes for his career after he dropped 50 the other day? Joel Embiid. People don't know. And this year, guys, he's in shape and he's healthy. He's been the best player in the league so far.
Well, with all due respect to GOAT LeBron James and Joel Embiid and Big Jokic, the best player in the league this year, February 24th, 2021, has been James Harden. Look, not only is he the best player, he's the best point guard in the league. And if you look at what James Harden has been doing this season is arguably his best season of his career. Yes, he's only averaging 25 points, but we all know he's capable of averaging 30. He's done it the last 3 years, averaged 30 plus a night. But look, on top of that, he is averaging his highs in rebounding at 11.6. He's averaging, at assists, he's averaging 11.6 assists, leading the league in assists. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds, his career high. He's averaging a career high of shooting 50 from the field. So let me take you down memory lane for a second. The Brooklyn Nets just went on a West Coast trip. First stop, Golden State Warriors. James Harden goes into Steph Curry Arena and gives him that business. They take a bus ride to Sacramento. He goes down. Been hearing the chatter about De'Aaron Fox. He gives them that work. And then on the back-to-back, he goes to Phoenix. Without Kevin Durant and without Kyrie Irving, being down 21 at the half, while the Phoenix Suns had been on a 6-game winning streak at home, and goes and drops 38, 11, and 7. And then he flies to L.A., back to Compton where he was born and raised, and take on the top dogs in the Lakers and Clippers and hand them the business. And then fly back home. We leave off the road. We went 5-0. We come back to the crib. Forget the time zone. That's not going to affect me. Well, Sacramento Kings have been waiting on them. And guess what? He dropped a 29-point triple-double with a dub without Kevin Durant again. The Nets are on a 7-game winning streak. This is some of the best basketball that I've seen James Harden play. And right now, today, he is the best player in the league.
Max Kellerman, I almost think it's almost sacrilegious to leave LeBron James out of the mix, Max and KP. But for the purposes of this argument, I got to admit, I'm going to side with Big Perk on this. James Harden has been sensational. He's averaging 25 and 11. He's shooting 48% from the field, nearly 40 from three-point range. He's shooting better than 85% from the free throw line. Oh, by the way, he's putting up double-doubles like it's going out of style. He dropped 38 on Phoenix. I'm looking at the numbers here. He dropped 37 on the Clippers. We know what he's been doing, and he's leading the way. And then when you take into account the fact that Kevin Durant has been out, it hasn't mattered. The fact that people were calling him out of shape because he was, it didn't matter. The fact that he had created some controversy because people were calling him out because of how he departed from Houston and what have you. You just look at that and we forgot the fact that, we needed to appreciate the reality that it clearly wasn't about the money, because he was offered a 2-year extension at $103 million and turned it down because he's prioritized winning. And then he shows up in Brooklyn with Kyrie as a teammate, with KD as a teammate, with guys like Jeff Green, Joe Harris, TLC and the crew to appease. And somehow, some way, he takes over ball handling and point guard responsibilities and has played like the best point guard in the game. Not to mention the fact that his defense in the post area showing his strength. He couldn't be pushed around. Just ask Kawhi Leonard how tough he was, difficult he was in the post in terms of defense. James Harden has been nothing short of sensational. He is a league MVP candidate. And even though Joel Embiid is playing lights out, it does help that they surrounded him. Tobias Harris is having a career year. Tobias Harris, Seth Curry has been playing lights out. Ben Simmons is still doing what he's doing. And he's got the coaching of Doc Rivers. James Harden just simply is James Harden. This is showing his level of unselfishness, his selflessness, and he is leading this team. He's a league MVP candidate, and I got to side with Big Perk on this.
He is a candidate. He's playing the most impressive ball of his career, and that's saying something. I totally agree. I think he missed too many games with the Nets early to push him ahead of Embiid, considering Embiid's offense, defense, and the Sixers' record. But Harden is showing you something right now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
To decide the debate, and we are going to start with criminal justice major Javius McInnes.
And my question for you, Stephen A. Smith, is do you think Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets are going to be able to win a championship this year?
Yes. 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 The only hiccup potentially is Anthony Davis coming back 100%, which I don't think is going to happen. The Brooklyn Nets are my favorite to win the chip. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, if AD doesn't come back 100% healthy, I agree with you. There could be hiccups on the way. I'm not positive they get by the Sixers. And if AD is healthy, that's a hell of a finals. Maybe I would take the Lakers there. But, the Nets are a whole lot of, and now they're starting to play defense.
They are a problem.
All right, next up, fellas, we got Warren Newman, also a criminal justice major here. Warren.
I want to know, what do the New Orleans Pelicans need to win the championship?
They need a few things. I got to give Brandon Ingram some credit where credit is due. He's averaging 24 a game. He's shooting 46% from the field. He looks impressive. I'm shocked that a Stan Van Gundy team is ranked like 25th defensively. I'm shocked by that. I expected him to be better defensively because he's such a damn good coach. But I think they'll get their act together. But I think that, you know what? I think they need an elite point guard, to be quite honest with you. I really, really do. Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, they're going to do their thing. I get that. I like some of the young pieces that they have, but I think they need an elite floor general. I would love, Max Kellerman, for example, to see a young Chris Paul with those guys. That would have been special. Just as an example.
Well, young Chris Paul is an improvement there, although I think they have talent there, too. You look at that roster, it's good, it's young, it's improving. Yeah. The answer is time. They need experience, and before you talk about anything else they need to add, Zion's got to take the next step eventually. I'm not saying, he hasn't done it already. It's very early still, and he's very young.
Second year.
But in the next couple of years, Zion Williamson's got to become an MVP candidate. And if he can do that, the Pelicans will be in contention for a championship.
In fairness to him, though, Max, his second year, the brother's averaging 25 on 61% shooting.
Oh, he's a monster.
I mean, damn. It's not too far off, is what I'm trying to say. Zion's doing his thing there.
He's a beast. He's a beast, but also Brandon Ingram, as much as he's putting up those numbers, I don't look at Brandon Ingram and think that's one of the 10 best players in the league, or even in the West.
He's good,
so
though.
I think also he has to take the next step, and he's taken a bunch already.
He is showing that he's better than Kyle Kuzma at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And again, Zion will join us on Friday. Finally, guys, we have a biomedical engineering major, Kayla Owens.
My question is, do you think the Dodgers will be repeat champions of the World Series?
Ooh, go ahead with that one, Max. I'll give you that one first.
I would say this. Baseball is more luck-based than, let's say, the NBA, basketball, where you can run all your plays through your best players and all that. There's less to chance. But this is the thing about the Dodgers. They play money ball with money. They have the best analytics or among them. They got the biggest payroll or among it. And when you look at the way they construct this team, Stephen A., there are things you can do to tilt the postseason, a small sample size in your favor. You can get hitters that don't have a huge variance in terms of how they hit good pitching and bad pitching. Those guys will tend to hit better in the playoffs. The Dodgers are aware of all these things. Swing and miss stuff from your starting pitchers. They bring on Trevor Bauer to a team that just won the World Series, and now we're asking, do they even need Clayton Kershaw back? after he got the monkey off his back by pitching the way he did in the postseason and winning a World Series finally. Yeah, the Dodgers are probably the favorites to win the whole thing again.
They should be the favorites, Max, and I'll give you a more simplified reason, because taking into account all those things you just said, which was right on the money. Here's the deal. They got the monkey off their back. 1988 was the last time they won a World Series. They had numerous bites at the apple and they didn't get it done. And then in bubble play, I tell you right now, during the coronavirus pandemic, with sparse crowds and things of that nature, it was incredibly exciting watching that World Series. It really, really was. And to see them, get that monkey off their back, the proverbial monkey off their back, I think now it's easy sailing. I think this upcoming World Series, as much as I hate to admit it because I'm a diehard Yankee fan, I think it'll be much easier to capture than last year's.
Hey, Stephen A., real quick, 2 words, too, that we have to say. Mookie Betts.
Betts.
Whew. That dude, I understand, in a league with Mike Trout, it's hard to say anyone else is the best player, but he might be the dude you want. He is exciting and shows up.
You did say
big
2
moments.
words. You did say 2 words. Let's go. We got some debate.
Well, come Mookie Betts.
Not 15.
Start.
Really quick, before we get to the debate, I just want to say thank you to JSU for making today really special for us, the faculty and the students. All right, the NBA announced the reserve selections for next month's All-Star game in Atlanta on Tuesday night, and there were some notable omissions that had the NBA world on fire last night. Let's bring in our guy, Kendrick Perkins, to join us as we dive into this conversation.
KP.
Kendrick, we'll get to you in a moment. Stephen A., you're up first. Who was the biggest all-star snub?
This hurts to admit to you. I think it was Devin Booker. And the reason why I say it hurts me to say, in the interest of full disclosure, y'all know that not only do I do this show and I host my other show, Stephen A.'s World, and Sports Center, with Stephen A. for my NBA show, but I'm also executive producing a docuseries, Why Not Us, on the North Carolina Central University basketball program. It's me with Roadside Entertainment and CP3, Chris Paul. And the reason why I say it hurts me to say this is because I love Chris Paul and I love his game and I love the fact that he's an all-star. But if you're going to pick a Phoenix Sun, it was supposed to be Devin Booker before Chris Paul. That's my issue. I look at all of these guys. All of these guys on the squad are deserving of being on the squad. Somebody was going to get snubbed, and we get that. But when I look at the Phoenix Suns, you're 20-10. Okay, you're 20-10. You're the top 4 seed in the Western Conference as we speak. Okay, Devin Booker is leading the way with 24 a game on 50% shooting. He's balling and nearly 40% shooting from 3-point range. He's gotten better. They're a top 4, top 5 defensive team in the NBA. Monty Williams, oh, by the way, look, when we sit here and we talk about the paucity of black coaches in the National Basketball Association, black men that have been assistants for years that are getting bypassed and ain't getting the opportunity. I mean, there have been examples before, but the job that Monty Williams is doing in Phoenix, is anybody paying attention? 8-0 in the bubble. People thought it was a fluke. They come out, they start off 11-9 or something like that. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They are balling. And Devin Booker is leading the way. Love CP3. Love him. And happy for and proud of his leadership with the NBPA. Proud that he gets on the court and do what he does. But if there was a Phoenix Sun that was supposed to be on the All-Star game, on the All-Star team out of the Western Conference, it was supposed to be Devin Booker before CP3. And I think even CP3 would agree with that. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm glad you brought up who should be left off, because you can say whatever you want about a snub. It's only a snub. Now tell me who you're going to snub who's on the team. So I agree with you, by the way. On the Western Conference, if you're talking about guards, Devin Booker ahead of CP3, and that's saying a lot. CP3's been great. But I'll tell you something else. Devin Booker has to be on the team. He has to be on the team. I don't care what you have to do, because it's an all-star game. And the star appeal and the spectacular nature of someone's game has got to matter in a tiebreaker. Even sometimes, I'll tell you who. Paul George is a great two-way player. He's having an all-star season, the whole thing. You want to say, well, actually, technically, he's more valuable because of this and that. I would take Devin Booker before I took him. I got to be honest. I would take Devin Booker before a whole bunch of guys. They were 8-0 in the bubble. They were undefeated in the bubble. They win twice as much as they lose this season. And his game reminds me of, we talk about attitude and who reminds you the most of the Mamba mentality and everything. But his offensive game reminds me of a little mini Kobe Bryant. Like, what can't he do offensively in terms of scoring? Devin Booker's got to be on the team.
Look, Stephen A. Max, I don't disagree with either one of you. I strongly believe that Devin Booker should be on the team, and I do believe he got snubbed. But here it is. I come from old country Beaumont, Texas, and I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandmother is from Louisiana. And when someone makes a dumb mistake, she used to always say, God bless their heart, baby. They don't know no better. And that's how I feel about the coaches right now. Because the way that they did Domantas Sabonis is just ridiculous, okay? This guy is so valuable to the league. It's crazy. He is a baby Jokic. He does everything for this Pacers team. He is averaging 21 points, almost 12 rebounds a game, with 5 dimes a game. The offense runs through him. It's nothing that he can't do offensively. You talk about a great passing big, he's up there. You talk about a great rebounder, he's up there. You talk about a guy that's able to put it on the floor and put it in the basket in majority of the ways, he's up there. Now, who would I take off the list in the Eastern Conference? Is Big Vucevic. I always struggle with his name. But I would take him off for the simple fact that the coaches vote for the reserves, okay? And they always want to move the goalposts, and they say, oh, we want to vote someone in that is performing at a high level individually and impacting winning. The Orlando Magic are not winning right now. So how did he make it above Sabonis?
Well,
Sabonis has to get his just due, and I feel like he was the biggest snub.
That's a good choice. I still don't think it's bigger than Devin Booker, but that's a damn good choice that you make. I know we got to move on. The only thing that I want to say is, Big Perk, I got to get on you about something. If you want somebody to come at you on a debate show, man, you can't be bringing up Grandma. How we going to disagree with Grandma? You can't do that to us. I mean, what we supposed to do? We can't come back at you and hey, we don't care about what Grandma thinks. No, of course we do. We can't say anything about Grandma. You can't do that to us. That's handicapping us, man.
No, but Stephen A., I just wanted to throw that Louisiana slang out there because, when they say bib, he be saying that a lot. That's all.
Okay. All right. I'll go with
Stephen A., I'm trying to get Granny on the radio show.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Granny on the radio show. And I'll tell you something else. I think she wants to come on, and Perk is keeping us apart. That's right, Perk. I said it.
Nah. I want Stone on first take. That's who I want on first take. I want the little one right there, Mac. You remember? That's who I want on first take. That's who I want to see on first take. That's who I want to see. I'm sorry.
You special family.
Box office right there.
Perk. They don't know no better. All right, guys. Let me get in one more debate here before we say goodbye. So moving on. This year marked the shortest offseason in